All right. Does anybody know what this one is? Yes,
RSS feed.
RSS feed, exactly. Does anybody know what RSS stands for?
Real simple solution.
Okay, real simple solution, I heard.
Isn't it real simple syndication?
Real simple syndication. Yeah, syndication is the second S. The way that it's been expanded is really simple syndication or rich site summary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the two generally accepted definitions of what RSS actually mean. It's a family of web feed formats used to publish frequently updated works like blog entries, news headlines, audio, and video in a standardized format. Anybody have RSS feeds coming to your email right now? What do you typically pull in?
How Stuff Works from Discovery Channel.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. Other RSS feeds that people have pulled in?
Feeds from technical blogs that I read for my field.
Okay. Anybody else? So those are two really good uses. I mean, it's stuff that you like. If there's a blog out there that you like or a publication out there that you like or that you're interested in, you can set up an RSS feed so that anytime anything new is posted out there, it's going to send you in whatever form you want it to, whether it's through, and Stacey will get onto this later on, Google Reader, or whether it's through a feed into your email account, however you decide to set it up, what's just been updated. So I follow several blog sites from professionals in my field, and I've got this whole series of folders in my email. One day I'll get to Google Reader, I promise. She's been trying to get me to do that for a while, and I'll eventually get there. But it just lights up the folder, and so I know when Ed Cabellon has posted a new blog post, or I know when Stacey has posted a new blog entry, and I'll go and read it at that point in time. Now, knowing the functionality, or at least a basic functionality of RSS feeds, can people think of some uses in your own work for an RSS feed?
I run an RSS feed that constantly searches Google for Indiana University South Bend, so I know as soon as we've hit the news for something. I set the director of marketing up with one too. He's kind of a technophobe, so that way we both know. And if it's housing related, I deal with it. If it's university related, he deals with it.
I set up one for Hershey chocolate because I wrote a paper on them last semester, and now I'm addicted to it. So I always want to know what the company's doing. So I get through Google, I get just notifications letting me know that there's something, news story's been out, or the stock's increased or something.
I like the way you think if you set one up for Hershey's chocolate. That's fantastic. Surprised you don't have one for Coke Zero. No.
I follow them.
Any other uses you can think of for an RSS feed? We're talking about it in this context as being a recipient of a feed, but on your websites or on your different, the things that you have out there in social media currently, do you have something that will allow an individual who is interested in your information to connect an RSS feed from your site and let them know? There's a lot of power in setting that up. So if there's information you're wanting out there, you're trying to push out there on your website, I would seriously consider doing that.
Do a lot of students use this? Are they familiar with it? With the RSS?
The RSS feeds? We have aggregate user data, not necessarily by demographics. There are professors though that are starting to have, instead of, okay, you need to go buy this textbook, that textbook, this textbook, that textbook, going and saying, there's a website over here with this particular topic, you need to subscribe to the RSS feed for it so you're getting the updates because we're going to use them in class. So while they may not be opting in or seeking it out intentionally, they're being introduced to it through their classes. And so that may cause them to think more about it when they visit a website. I would say that even if they're not, if anything that you're sending out there needs to connect with their families in any way, shape, or form, they may be more apt to go ahead and subscribe to an RSS feed, particularly if you push it.
All you have to do is let them know about it.
Yeah. All right. So, everybody know what that thing is? Twitter, yay! And how many people in here actually have a Twitter account? Show of hands. Matt, Gregory, raise your hand. How many of you use it regularly? What do you use it for?
I'm the programming manager for distance education here, so I use it to announce any webinars, trainings, events that we have going on. Some faculty here will follow me. So.
All right.
And it's at the bottom of my email so that they can find out who I am.
connect with you in that way. What are other uses that you're using Twitter for right now? All right, well, we have several. It's all right. It's a great way to push information out, but there are also things, as you're noticing, maybe over here in the tweet grid over here, tweet chat, there are ways to share information back and forth within a community. When we talked about that hashtag earlier, you know, we had USI Go Social just for this session. But like I said earlier, there are groups of communities out there that use that hashtag moniker, and they start having these community conversations with each other online. So we'll just use the Glee one as an example. Anytime Glee is on television, I don't care if it's when the new episode is showing or if it's a rerun or somebody managed to find it on Hulu, you go and type in #Glee and you will see this huge stream of comments about that episode of Glee or about an actor on Glee or something. So if you develop some type of a hashtag for a program or an event or a service or a group of people or a community, however you choose to define it, whether it's a group of nursing students, whether it's a group of advisees, whether it's a subset of a residence hall area, whether it has to do with your department and people are wanting to find information out about you. I can see the library maybe wanting to do something like that. As soon as they search for you, all of that information will pop up. Yes,
I
ma'am.
hate to ask so many questions.
No, you're fine.
Okay, I've had Facebook almost probably since it started. The problem having the tweet is, what's the difference, or what do you say, I guess, the difference between that and the news feed on your Facebook account? What's the difference between what you say? I mean, because that's the problem I have with, like, you know what I mean?
It may not be what the difference is of what you say, but the audiences that you're sending it to.
Vastly different. Yeah.
There's a quote that's sometimes attributed to Tom Kriegelstein, who founded Red Rover, which those of you who work in student activities, it's a web-based connection thing for students. It's like Facebook with student activities. Anyway, his quote is, Facebook is for the people you already know, Twitter is for the people you want to know.
It is more broad-based. I mean, it's you're communicating everything in 140 characters or less, so it's for short snippets of information. You can connect with people who have similar interests. You can participate in organized chats online on specific subjects. I mean, you can push a link out there to a piece of information that you want people to know. So if you, let's say you have this great social media plan and you created this video series on, I'll use academic advising again, and you want to push something out to all of your Twitter followers about that, put the link out there, they click over to it. Other people will probably do that too. There's a little trick you can do to put a little period in front of your entire tweet, and it opens it up for everybody to see, not just the folks who are following you. And I'll get to that in a second for those who don't know what Twitter is. Let me back up. It was only launched in 2006. It's not even 5 years old yet. It's a website owned and operated by Twitter Incorporated. They still have their own, which offers social networking, and they call it microblogging. So little bits of information about you, your experiences, your perceptions, your observations, in 140 characters or less. They're publicly visible by default. You can restrict message delivery to lists of people. You can also make your account private if you want to, and we'll talk a little bit about the pros and the cons of having a private account versus a public account a little later. These hashtags are trending topics, and if you log on to Twitter's main site, there's always a list of those things that are trending now, and I guarantee you every time you log on there'll be something about Justin Bieber. Since the poor man just cut his hair, it has been everywhere. Bieber alert is like insane. When a Twilight movie comes out, there's Twilight. When Harry Potter came out, there was Harry Potter. I mean, if you want to know what the world is chatting about online, go pull up the main site to Twitter and you'll see the entire list. Of the top, they do 10, I think, that are
You can
displayed.
also narrow them geographically.
Yeah.
So if you want to see what people in Chicago are talking about, you can narrow down and you can search by region.
It's instantaneous. I mean, if you really want to talk about connection, this is high connection to people. For folks like me that are extroverts, I have to physically put the phone down and walk away from it to stop doing this, and so I have to watch myself. But it's also allowed me to connect with other people and get answers to things like that. About 3 months ago, I put out there a question about master planning firms for housing programs. We're about to undergo that at SAU Carbondale. And I just shot a message out, and I put a couple of little trending topics, one of them being Res Life, one of them being Student Affairs Chat, one of them being, I think, housing. and to professional associations, and I said, who has recommendations for master planning firms for housing? Within 3 minutes, I think I had 8 company names, and then within about 15 minutes, I had another 4 or 5. And these aren't just, here's a name. They were coming with name, they're all right. Or name, DM or direct message, because you can send direct messages to people without everybody seeing it on Twitter. DM me, I'll give you more info. Which usually meant, don't you dare include that person on your bid form because they were horrible. But, I mean, you really want to talk about getting fast information. It's pretty cool. And, you know, you can send a call up for almost anything and get that type of a response. So as a professional development tool, it's been really helpful. Anything you want to add about this?
Sometimes you get responses you don't intend. Last night I tweeted that I really like this new song by Florence and the Machine, and that I hope Lee never covered it. And within 30 seconds had 6 responses telling me that Glee already had covered it. And I was like, okay, my bad, clearly haven't been keeping up on my Glee. So sometimes you get some positive feedback too.
A little bit, right. Does anybody know what this one is?
Dropbox.
Dropbox. Yes. Does anybody know what Dropbox is? Obviously you do, I'm guessing. David.
It is basically a folder online where you can drop files in, you can share that folder with other people. We use it for regional conferences. When we've got a committee of people that are all helping out with the same thing, we need access to the same file. We just put them in the Dropbox and everybody can share.
Right. And does it cost anything?
Not for the
Nope.
first 2 gigabytes.
Right. Not for the first 2 gigabytes. So it's like this free flash drive in the clouds almost. And the sharing aspect is really, really helpful for meetings, for, you know, if you've got a group in your office and you want to make sure that you're all editing the same thing maybe, and you share this particular folder, everybody can go and review it, and then you have everybody's comments together. There's some of the same functionality there as Google Docs, but I mean, this really does expand it.
I was going to say, it sounds similar to Google Docs, but can you put any type of folder, file basically in there?
It takes any type of file.
Anything.
I have a friend that's put files for ebooks in there for
Yep.
me,
Okay.
movies in there for me.
Music files. I have somebody do that, which is probably illegal.
Yeah, any type of file will go in there.
Okay.
It's great for the, I forgot my jump drive.
Yes, it's a great backup system.
You can access it, you can set it up on your computer so that it saves on your computer. You set it up on your home computer so they work together. And then you can also get it when you're at a conference on the conference provided computer.
Right. You log into it if you're not on your home computer. I mean, you could do set it up there. You could log into it at your home computer as well if you wanted to, or you could just, as you said, set it up to go immediately into it when your computer boots up. But I found it invaluable. I teach a class, and I have a TA, and so as we're going updating lesson plans or when we're grading things, she gives it one glance and her comments are on there. I can then, as soon as she's done, pull it straight up. There's no emailing back and forth. There's nothing. It's just done. It will alert you when somebody updates a file in a shared folder. So I'll know when Leah has finished grading somebody's paper, and I'll pull it up and I can add mine, and then we just move it over to the final folder and we're done. No emails, no oops, I lost this, no uh-oh, I can't find it. It's really helpful.
What about the security of something like that, though?
I have done some research on that. because
Yeah, I
realized
have not seen anything really horrible.
They use the same security methods that Amazon does for their payment system.
It's a secure
They say
site,
otherwise.
yeah. It's HTTPS for sure, but I mean, I've never had any problems at all. I've been using it for a while. That's just my personal experience, but it's also nice to know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about it. And it comes in an app.
Yeah.
You have the iPhone or Android.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody here has an iPad, it's really nice to have it there too. So I mean, really, it just jumps from machine to machine and wherever you are, and you can access it anywhere. As long as you've got an internet connection, you can access it wherever you are. Highly recommend it.